Welcome to the Holly Shelter Gravel Grinder. This is a race on the coast of North Carolina, near Wilmington, North Carolina. It is in the Holly Shelter Game Lands, and this is only a 55-mile gravel race, which, when I signed up, I thought, man, that is a short gravel race. And it is, because it is like 105 degrees on this day, and so humid. I've been hearing a lot about dew point. Do I understand what that is? Not entirely, but apparently means your body can't cool off. So they have made this race short. I brought a camelback. You can see guys with camelbacks for a 55-mile-an-hour race, like a lot of dudes here, and ladies with camelbacks. And 2 bottles, full setup. I have 2 bottles, camelback. This is the course down here in Wilmington. You can see it is almost all gravel, except for the part we're on right there, which is paved. And then we take a right turn onto the gravel, and it is just gnarly for the rest of the time. This segment right here is called Juniper Road. I heard a lot of horror stories about Juniper Road. People were like, oh, you need mountain bike tires. And yeah, I would have made it better. It was all sandy. It was just like a giant sand pit, which was pretty wild. We'll get to that. But here we are, right next to Carter here, who was on my left. Here's David Brown on the left as well. Lots of cool guys. I didn't know who was going to show up to this race, but we actually did end up having some hitters, like right on the start line. Not right on the start line, but a little bit later here, I ran into my buddy Isaac Enderline. I guess every gravel race I've done this year, Isaac has been at, which is gnarly. He went up and did Unbound. Isaac always wears just like a black kit for races, and then his team is me, like from Talladega Nights, which I find amazingly amusing. All the team names are pretty funny in that way, like just dudes not having teams, just getting their own sponsors. You can already see a little breakaway forming here 2 minutes into the race up front, but I'm not terribly concerned about that. Back to the team names for these races. Guys just choose random stuff. I'm still on the Velocious Sport team with the red pants, but the guys that are hosting me, the guy that is hosting me up here on the left, Joe Carpasasi, he got me on Project Echelon back in the day, and yeah, it's just been a big help. Isaac on the left there in the black kit. Moving up to the front, you can see Rob Kelly on the left as well there. He is in the Project Echelon kit, but he runs Criterium Nation, which is interesting to have him at a gravel race. Might not have seen Gabe entirely there, but on the left was in like a checkered kit is also Gabe Anthony, who races cross with me all the time. Pretty strong guy. So there's a big field here. There's a lot of starters. I don't remember how many starters we actually ended up having, but I can look at it right here. We've got a few guys that I did not know. I didn't know how strong they were, Carter being one of them, but we do have Aaron Weidman here, who is a local North Carolina hitter. He's wearing red. He's fast. He got away at one of the earlier races in the year and just like held a lot of power for like a 60-mile race that we did in North Carolina. Cross legend here, Robert Marion on the left. Opened up a little gap, but closing it down on his blue. No problem at all. We are officially onto gravel. And with gravel comes shenanigans. Here we go with the shenanigans. Isaac takes a little more cautious line. That guy took advantage of that gap that I let open. There was just a few trees on the course apparently the day before. Guys were trying to warn me about them. Everything was marked pretty well, and they told us about that tree that they had not been able to move. So that wasn't a huge deal. I'm sure farther back it was much less fun. We get to other stuff like this where fresh gravel has been laid down, super chunky, and yeah, felt like you were riding through sand, but I would say higher risk of puncturing tires. I'm going to hop in behind Carter here. And yeah, I was just going to be kind of cautious for as much of it as I possibly could. I think we had like 100 entries in this race. I might be wrong. See Lucas Liverman on the left there, Alex Ryan on the left, also across Legends, and Nima, who runs Kelly Benefit's team. So a lot of cool guys racing at this Wilmington race. And here I go with my first kind of feeler attack. It did not go, but this guy, Aaron, he did stick an attack. And dudes were not chasing him down, which was pretty insane. I did try and chase him down a little bit. You can see he's still off the front. And I think this guy's name is Kyle, John, who's chasing him back. And then I think this is Kyle right here. I'm new to these guys, so give me some patience while I learn your names. Kyle was taking corners pretty good. They were actually helping pull back Aaron because they know he is strong as well. I saw Aaron had a little bit less of a gap, and so I decided that it was officially time. We're only 20 minutes into this race, and it is time for me to send it across to Aaron. This is a hard attack. I've been doing crits, so I'm used to this kind of effort, and eventually I do catch him. Here is me catching him. It was like a minute and a half at 500 watts or whatever it was. But at the beginning of a pretty long race compared to, I guess, what I've been doing. Aaron and I rolled through for a little bit right here, and eventually I believe we got caught. But I sent another attack. There was a really, like, let's say Chaucy section, very loose, big gravel, and I attacked through that as if it were a sand pit. Carter here in front of me, he followed, and Carter and I just rolled off the front for a while. We were dangling for a minute before the group started letting our gap go a little bit. So here we are before the Juniper stage, or Juniper thing, and I am telling him he's got some sealant right there on his seat post. There you can see it. His rear tire is leaking sealant, and it is getting all over me, but it actually, I think, ended up sealing. Like, I don't know that he had to stop. So that was good. He has huge tires on this bike. I don't know if you can see that right there. My bike is the standard Trek checkpoint that I've been running from Ken's Bike Shop with 38 mil Pathfinders that I run all the time. Ran them at Croatan. I switched for the Appalachian Journey, but we actually did end up going through Juniper here. It was super hard. His big tires helped him out a lot through that. We finished Juniper. I was just on his wheel the whole time, and right behind us was Aaron catching on, and then these guys. We've got Kyle, Isaac, and I think that's John back there, and then another guy, John Drazad, who's on the results. It says he's 99 years old. Must have entered day of. But those dudes were all in a chase group behind us as well. I think they were like maybe 2 minutes behind. The lines of sight are huge on this course. Right now we're in a super sandy section, so we were having to push pretty hard. But again, lines of sight, huge on this course, and we were out of sight. So I would say at least 2 minutes at this point. We were rolling really well, super consistently. We were only doing like 320 on the front for most of it until around about this point, where we started to knock down the pace a good bit. We're on the way back. It's been hot the whole time. I've been taking my 1.5 liter Camelback and just like spraying it on me however I can. We don't feel like we're cooling down at all. But eventually we get to the aid station, and right before the aid station, Carter tells me he cannot hang on to my wheel anymore. His leg is locking up, and he's going to stop at the aid station. I was like, all right, we'll stop at the aid station. I didn't really want to go alone, but he was insistent that I keep going. And so I did. I kept going once we got to, like, right before the aid station. I actually stopped at the aid station, filled up a bottle, so that meant I got in nearly 4 liters of water for this race, which is a lot for me for a 2.5 hour race. But I'm off the front, and I get to roll in to the finish after that aid station. Rolling into the finish, got the solo win at the Holly Shelter gravel race on crit legs, so that was exciting. I did a finish time of 2 hours and 32 minutes, and then John in second and Kyle in third with the sprint. Thanks for watching. See ya.